President of Downstream Strategies, and we're a consulting company here in Morgantown. We've been working closely with Morgantown Utility Board for over a year on a whole range of activities to help keep our drinking water clean. And there are several people here from Morgantown Utility Board that will also be presenting. Among them are Tim Ball, the General Manager, and Greg Shelito, who manages the treatment plants. Our goal is to pack a lot of information into the first 45 minutes and then to reserve the second half for a dialogue. And we're going to talk about several topics. First, we're going to talk about how clean our water is based on several different monitoring programs that are ongoing for pet mud. And then most of the presentation is going to focus on source water protection planning. And when we say source water, we mean the water that MUB withdraws from on the Mon River and on Coven Creek to create the water that you drink and bathe and cook with. And then the final portion of the presentation will be some brand new information about proposed construction and possible impacts on rates that utility customers pay related to improving the water and sewer service. And again, we hope to reserve half the time for a community dialogue. Because of the new infrastructure projects and the possible impacts on rates, MUB has a whole series of meetings scheduled. Just one of those. So you should have that list in your handout with all the slides. So hopefully you might be able to attend others or talk to your friends and neighbors and have them attend. The first speaker from MUB is Greg Shelito, who's going to give us an update on water quality.
Okay, we talked about water quality. Water quality is kind of a nebulous term. It's more of a descriptor. It doesn't really tell you anything. It can be good or it can be bad. All right, so we're going to have to break that down just a little bit more. And water quality is going to mean different things to different people because it's a little bit subjective. Depends on your end use, what you want to use it for. If you just want to water your lawn, you may have good quality water in a stream. That doesn't mean it's a good quality water for you to drink. Okay. I've handed out, and there's some more back there, our 2014 Consumer Confidence Report. Okay, this primarily is about the finished water that we have from our treatment process. We're going to focus a little bit more tonight on our raw water sources, and that dovetails into the source water protection plan. There is a table on page 6, I'll show it to you in a slide here in a minute, that kind of gives you a breakdown of a lot of the common constituents that we look for in our raw water as to determine what kind of quality water we have to deal with in treatment. The utility board has 2 raw water sources. The main one is the Mon River that flows through the center of town there, right past the treatment plant. We also have a secondary source. That's the Coven Creek Reservoir. That's up in White Park. That comes from the Coven Creek watershed. Both sources are relatively good as far as a source water for us. Because of the limited capacity and the amount of water in the Coven Creek side of things, we primarily draw from the Mon. Let me give you just a little breakdown of how we did that last year. For 2014, and that's the data I'm going to speak with, that's the most current year I have to work with right now, we processed over 4 billion gallons of water. That's a heck of a lot of water to process and put out into the system for our drinking water system. That breaks down to about 11 million gallons per day. 80% of that we actually drew from the Mon River. Okay, the remaining 20% we took from Coven Creek. All right, this is the table I was referring to. It is in the Consumer Confidence Report. It's on page 6. Okay, these are chemical constituents that we've done the analysis for the raw water source, the Mon River and our Coven Creek Reservoir. I don't expect you to take a lot from this. Peruse it later on. It's just here to give you a detailed look at a bunch of the parameters that we look at as when we're trying to establish what kind of water we're dealing with. of particular importance, and maybe a little more common to people, if you look at the bottom two, the pH and turbidity. The Mon is about 7. Coven Creek is just a little bit less than that. Very nice waters to deal with as far as treating it for drinking water sources. And if you look at the average on the turbidities, both are relatively low. Okay, so although the Mon does get turbulent and it does look a lot of brown sometimes because of the increased rainfall and all that, overall it is a very clean source as far as the amount of sediments that we get. Okay. I'm just going to breeze through several examples of some of the things that we've done, some other programs. Remember back in 2009, there was a big to-do about a lot of